Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from my problems.
Yup, what's good, original crew, man? We're back. We got a new patch of CC. Oh, just an update for everyone who don't know. Hey, we talked about it. We looked at a couple things. We're gonna bring the patch of CC videos back to the main regular channel, the Kid and C Reacts channel, and we're gonna be swapping and doing a Tyler. Like, if you're looking for the Tyler videos, they will now be going over there on the extra dose. So just a brief synopsis or update for anyone who, I know incorrect word, but a little channel update for people who don't know. So if you're looking for the past recent patch of CC videos, they've been over there on the extra dose channel. Sorry. Right? Mm-hmm. A little channel update.
Yeah.
A little morning announcements.
Afternoon announcements.
Church announcements.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, with that being said as well, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to first support, all you got to do is check out down below. When we say that, go over there to the extra dose. We got other content over there for you as well that we just typically try to stick to 3 videos over here a day. Other content, if we got any extra, goes on the extra dose. That's why key extra dose. Also, we're going to eventually drop it from 3 videos a day, and other content will be on extra dose. So y'all, you never know. Coming in the future. But today, also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
Blocking it with a thumbs up.
Doing a little church announcement, see? Just doing a little...
I didn't say nothing. Stop.
We got covering Diddy's crimes, JLo's suspicious involvement.
What?
No, I'm just saying, thinking in my head, I'm like saying like that. What I always say, I feel as though no matter what the crime is, anything that's connected to Diddy, everybody who had any type of involvement, I don't care who it is, big or small your involvement, if you had any type of involvement, I feel like you should be charged as well. In any crimes he may committed. Whether or not you burned up in a club form.
Yeah.
You need to go to.
I feel you.
But hey, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's check it out. Let's see what the topic about today. You ready?
Alrighty.
Let's go.
Sean Diddy Combs is currently sitting behind bars as the federal government continues to collect evidence related to his decades of reprehensible crimes. Racketeering, human trafficking, violent assault, bribery are just a few of the countless offenses Diddy is being investigated for. However, crimes at this scale are typically not a one-man operation, so the feds start to question who could have been involved in, assisting with, or covering up his crimes. Jennifer Lopez has been a point of interest as she was in a relationship with the disgraced music mogul from 1999 to 2001, during which she was involved in a nightclub shooting that led to a victim being shot in the face and one man being imprisoned. The details of this case are very messy, and there are multiple strong sources that suggest Diddy was actually the one who fired the gun at the victim's face. But as always, he got away without even a slap on the wrist. Today we're going to deep dive into JLo's suspicious involvement with Diddy and unveil all of the details about that fateful night she does not want you to know. JLo made it very clear that the first time she met Diddy, she did not like him.
He was larger than life, but at first I didn't like him at all. I didn't. I thought he was like, ick.
Now, it's normal for first impressions to be a little off, but I find it interesting that she used the word ick to describe how she felt meeting him. That implies that she was disgusted or grossed out by him for some reason. However, she goes on to say that it's just because they had different views.
Sean and I were very different that way. I was very family oriented and kind of a, the married type. I was actually, when we first worked together in the video, I was married, even though I was going through problems. Nobody knew that, you know what I mean? And I wanted my family, and even though at that time it was not going well, you know what I mean?
We did find out she was married, didn't we? Oh, that one video we watched, we did find out she was married to the producer guy, right? Mm. And then he started working with Mariah. Mm. Or was that Mariah married to him? Remember we deep dived, and that's when we found out all the songs that she, you know what I'm saying, technically her song, but people and they used their vocals and made it.
Yeah, I remember like all that, but I can't remember who was married
Who
to
was married,
and
who
all of
wasn't
that.
married,
I don't know
yeah.
those details. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it was her that was married. We found out she was married because I don't think I knew like.
But I want to say.
But she always.
But I do kind of also want to say the other one was too.
I can't remember.
I can't remember the exact details. That's crazy.
I mean, that was who I was. That's how I was raised.
Despite Jennifer feeling like her and Puffy had different relationship values, 2 years later they would surprisingly end up as a couple. Over the years, JLo has been accused of getting in relationships or even marrying men to advance her career, and based on circumstance, that allegation holds a little bit of weight when it comes to Diddy. Firstly, when they got together, JLo was gearing up for the release of her debut album, On the 6th in 1999, but she needed a ton of help. You see, JLo was now 30 years old and was trying to prove herself as a musician. She had already proven herself in the industry as a dancer. She danced alongside MC Hammer in an episode of Yo MTV Raps, and then earned a job as a backup dancer for New Kids on the Block's performance at the 1991 American Music Awards. But her big break happened when she got a spot as a member of the Fly Girls, which was a dance group on the widely popular sketch comedy show In Living Color. But just being a dancer was far from the illustrious career she saw herself having. From there, she hired producer Eric Gold as her manager, where she was able to break into acting in Hollywood productions. Her first acting role was on the television show South Central, which was a comedy drama sitcom that aired on Fox in 1994. From there, she got more TV roles in Second Chances and Hotel Malibu, which transitioned to movie roles in Mi Familia, Money Train, and Jack alongside the legendary comedian Robin Williams. However, her breakout film was Selena, a biopic about Selena Quintanilla Perez, the queen of Tejano music, which is a genre blending Mexican music with elements of American country and jazz. Lopez made headlines as the first Latina actress to earn $1 million for a film. Not only did this cement her place in Hollywood, but it also earned her a Golden Globe nomination, making her a draw for future work. And despite her acting career about to take off like a rocket ship, she didn't want to be an actress. She wanted to be a musician. Embracing her Latin roots, Lopez recorded a music demo in Spanish, which sparked a bidding war among record labels, and ultimately she signed with Sony Music Group. The deal with Sony was described as lucrative, as they outbid major labels like Capitol Records and EMI Latin. As Lopez worked on her debut album, Sony launched a major campaign to promote her, leading to her appearance in Diddy's music video for Been Around the World in 1997. At that time, Diddy was an extremely powerful and popular music industry executive. He single-handedly developed and marketed the Notorious B.I.G. to hip-hop superstardom. His label, Bad Boy Entertainment, was an absolute powerhouse, signing some of the most successful artists of the late 90s. He had personally won 2 Grammy Awards in 1998, and he was known to throw some of the most lavish parties where countless powerful figures in the entertainment industry would attend. Being Diddy's girlfriend was quite literally a golden ticket to superstardom, especially in the music industry. It's also convenient that Diddy's label was owned by Epic Records, which was also owned by Sony, the same label that signed Jennifer Lopez. Plus, Diddy was known to introduce and mentor new artists in the industry, such as Mary J. Blige, Usher, and Justin Bieber. And when JLo talks about her relationship with Diddy in retrospect, it sounds like she's talking about an old manager rather than an old lover.
He was great. It was almost like I was meant to meet him while I was making my first album, because he helped me a lot. He was kind of like a mentor in a way, not a mentor, but like guided me.
But
he had a
also,
way of communicating that put it very plainly, like, that sucks, don't do that. Or you need to do this, or you need to do that. Don't forget. And I was smart enough to sponge up the things that were useful.
So when you factor in JLo getting the ick when she first met Diddy, to then essentially signing to the same label while she's trying to prove herself in the music industry, it makes it seem like this was not love, this was business. Diddy, who at the time went by Puff Daddy or Puffy, was at the peak of his career, and he had just recently got away with multiple fatal encounters that he was involved in. He somehow was not indicted, arrested, or even a suspect in the murders of Tupac and Biggie. This is surprising because, as we broke down in great detail in my Diddy Files video, all roads as to why the 2 rappers died seem to lead to him. Also in 1998, he finally settled a case that he had been battling for 7 years. In 1998, 1991, he organized a celebrity charity basketball game where a stampede occurred that took the lives of 9 people. 8 families of the deceased settled wrongful death lawsuits against Mr. Combs in early 1998. Mr. Combs ended up paying around $600,000 of a total of $3 million or so. When you combine these major legal wins with him having more success than ever and dating a buzzing superstar, he was probably feeling untouchable, which meant that anyone who came at him the wrong way would pay the price. And one man who would pay the price would be Steve Stout, a longtime executive with Interscope Records and manager of the rapper Nas. Nas had recently released a single featuring Puffy called Hate Me Now, and when the music video aired on MTV, Puffy was outraged. The video features the crucifixion of Christ with Nasir himself playing the role of Jesus. Diddy was also cast as one of the criminals on a cross beside Nas. Puffy, who is a devout Catholic, had requested his image on the cross be removed from the cut of the video that was to air nationally.
I didn't know Puffy was a Catholic. Did you? Like, that's, I ain't gonna lie, that's news to me. I did not know Puffy considered himself a Catholic. That's, what? I wonder where he, I don't know, man. Dang, have you seen that music video before?
I'm pretty sure I've seen it. I just can't remember the music video.
Okay. I know the music video, but
who knows, like, exactly.
But I have a vague memory of it because I haven't like looked into it. Like that's not one like Nas. My favorite Nas song is One Mic. All I need is one mic, once. You know what I'm saying? So I really don't like go and like look at a lot of old Nas stuff. But One Mic is like my favorite Nas songs of all time.
Yeah.
You got a favorite Nas joint?
I don't.
Whether it was an honest mistake or done intentionally is unknown, but the fact of the matter is the request was ignored and the full video was broadcast across the country. From there, Diddy went to Steve Stout's office with several bodyguards and allegedly attacked Stout by smashing a bottle of champagne over his head. When Puffy was asked about the situation, this was his response.
Listen, Puffy, there's a bad rumor going around that either you or your people were involved with beating up a record executive. What's your side of the story on that?
I heard that rumor too. I don't even really know where it came from.
1 month later, in May of '99, Steve Stout reported the assault to the press. "I'm scared of him. Everybody is afraid of him. He has a dark history." Stout goes on to explain the attack. "He punched me in the face, and then he grabbed the phone and bashed me in the head with it. 1 minute I'm in the middle of a meeting, and the next minute I'm down on the floor and Puffy and his guys are kicking and pounding me. One of them picks up a chair and throws it at me. Then Puffy throws my desk over and they just walk out like nothing happened." Sean Combs was arrested, then bailed out, but the case never went to trial and was settled out of court.
Because there was no lawsuit?
No. There was just a, like you said, payoff.
Do you know how much Steve got paid off?
He got paid off well.
Millions?
Well.
You can say that.
Yeah, you could say that?
Yeah.
Puffy seemingly felt he could do whatever he wanted because ultimately he had the money, the power, or the connections to make any problem go away.
Is that the reason why Steve Stout started United Masters? I don't know. Have you
had a little money? Had a little extra money?
Well, he has hella industry connects, but I don't know if you know about it. Have I talked to you about United Masters before?
I know about it. I mean, I done heard it before. I don't know if it's because of you, but yeah.
Because United Masters concept is kind of the same concept I came up with about, remember the project I had to do in college? It was the same concept, but United Masters didn't come out yet.
Yeah.
And so when I gave my presentation, like I think like a year or so later, that's when United Masters came out. I was like, damn, dude, question how is it possible? And there you go, United. But I don't think a lot of people bought into it. The only like biggest artist I saw that signed actually kind of finagled him with it, and I was like, it's kind of fucked up how he went about it. Was NLE Chopper. He signed to him, then turned around and kind of gave him an FU and went and signed to another label. But I don't know like the whole behind the scenes of what really went down, so I can't really like speak on it in depth. But it was like it was cool. Like I don't know.
Not with that, but with like Diddy and like whatever his history is or whatever, nothing really will ever. Well, now things are, but back then like nothing. That's why it took so long for things to like be handled or things to come to light or whatever the case may be.
Because people take pay.
Because you throw somebody some money and be like, okay, most people are not going to turn down millions of dollars.
Yeah. And I say this in the situation with the lawsuit, the first lawsuit, with the I don't know if you know about the backstory behind that. The 8 people being, did they die?
Was it 8 or 9?
8 or I can't remember exactly how the amount. That's not, but the detail. I wouldn't necessarily put all the blame in that situation on Diddy. But because he threw the event.
Yeah, but I know about it.
That's why I was asking you.
I know about it.
Know and remember. Okay.
And that's exactly what many people think happened in the infamous 1999 club shooting, the one where Jennifer Lopez saw the entire thing go down. On December 27th, 1999, Diddy and Jennifer Lopez arrived at Manhattan's famous Club New York in a limousine.
Club New York, 2 days after Christmas, 45th Street, Manhattan, Times Square. Everybody's outside, fur coats, Benzes, baddest bitches, richest niggas, ball players, gangsters, rappers, all in one spot.
Diddy and JLo arrived with a small crew, including his chauffeur, Wardell Fenderson, his bodyguard, Anthony Wolf Jones, and his newest bad boy signee, upcoming rapper, Shyne.
I get inside the club. Pat. I see JLo with a security guard walking to the bathroom. I'm like, oh, this shit lit. JLo in the club, this shit lit. I see Puffy and them niggas over there, him and Shyne, them niggas just standing on the couches, Moet bottles, doing it.
As Puffy and his crew attempted to leave, they navigated through the crowded club. As they walked past the bar, they bumped into another crew, led by a man named Matthew Allen, who goes by the street name Scar. Whoever bumped into Scar caused him to spill his drink on his clothes, to which his friend named Marcus turned around in a fit of rage and pushed the first person he saw, which happened to be Diddy.
Puffy says, do you know who I am? And this guy Marcus says, yeah, motherfucker, we got money too. And he takes a wad of cash and he throws it right at his face.
Wow.
And it's 50s and 100s, and it's just raining 50s and 100s, which of course the whole bar, it goes crazy. Yeah, they start diving on the, trying to get the money.
But all I know is I saw when he swung and slapped and money was raining through the sky and falling to the floor. Everybody started trying to run and pick up money, and it was just craziness.
All you hear, pow, pow, pow. Next thing I know, me and this nigga on the floor looking at each other. We like, oh shit. We like, yo. Cause after one shot, you like this, but then you hear more shot, that's when you fall.
Now there are conflicting reports as to exactly.
That is true though. That first shot, if it freezes you, you're like, shit, what's that? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But after you start hearing some more, you like, oh shit. I don't know why it's like human beings, we respond like that. It's like you hear that first one, you freeze because you're like, it's like your body like, motherfucker, did I hear what I just heard? Mm-hmm. Like, and then you hear the other, you're like, oh shit, they shooting. You hit the flow, you run, whatever. My best recommendation, get low. Tell you, see.
But then you hear more shot, that's when you fall.
Now there are conflicting reports as to exactly what happened next, but we do know that several shots were fired from a gun into the club. One of the victims, named Natanya Rubin, recalls being shot.
Like literally walking backwards towards the door, drawing from their hip. I told my friend, I said, oh my God, watch out. As I turned back to look at them, I watched them bow, bow. Both of them fired, and the muzzle flash was like, psh, psh. I watched them both fire their guns. I watched them. I got hit right here, in my nose, in between my eyes, which means I'm facing directly at you. Just like I'm looking at you, that's exactly how I was looking at him. And I watched him shoot me.
Today, Natanya speaks about the situation.
So basically, she said it's two shooters in the situation. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Very calmly, but back when it first happened, she was extremely distraught, seeking justice.
I'm not famous. I don't have a publicity machine. I don't have $1 billion of insurance on my body, or any part of my body for that matter. Does that make me any less valuable?
You have a woman who shot in the face, who still has bullet fragments 2 inches from her spine, She has 2 children. She has her own business. What is she to do now? There's an issue of health coverage. I mean, what do you tell 2 children, 10 and 7? Mommy got shot in the face.
Another victim, 27-year-old Julius Jones, also recalls being shot.
I ain't had no time to duck. It just hit me, felt, the burn sensation on my shoulder. I just dropped instantly to the floor.
The next thing he remembers after the bullet pierced his shoulder.
People screaming, running for the door to the exit, trying to, get out the way.
After the gunfire stopped.
I thought it was just one person that shot. Did you? Did you know about him getting shot too?
I just always used to hear about her.
Yeah, that's true. Like, you only always hear about her. Also, we only always hear about. Well, I don't know about y'all. It's just me. I only hear about one person shooting.
She was saying one from the other side and one from.
She saw two. A muzzle. She said, I'm facing the shooters.
I heard
and
what
I
she
see
said.
muzzle pop here and pop here. So it's 2 people shooting from one direction. Not 2 people shooting at each other. 2 people shooting in one direction. That's why she got popped in the face. Because I'm facing the shooters.
I got you.
So that's way deeper, though. I need to read more about this case.
Stopped, Puffy and JLo rushed out of the club and were whisked into a vehicle driven by his chauffeur, Wardell Fenderson. The group fled the chaos in a Lincoln Navigator SUV registered to Puffy's Bad Boy record company, speeding through 11 red lights while the cops pursued them. As the car was speeding away from the police, a bystander witnessed somebody throw a gun outside of the passenger side of the car. The witness told investigators that he saw a woman's hand fling a gun from the chauffeur-driven Lincoln Navigator.
Minding his own business, and he says the Lincoln Navigator is driving by. According to him, he sees a light-skinned, slender arm throw this loaded weapon out the window. And that lands on his car.
If this was true, it implicates Jennifer Lopez, as that's likely the person they are describing, for discarding a piece of evidence. The Navigator was eventually pulled over by police, and authorities found another firearm with 3 spent cases in the front seat. Nobody took credit for the gun. Therefore, all 4 of them, JLo, Diddy, the driver, and the bodyguard, were arrested and taken to the Midtown North precinct for questioning. We would later find out that the weapon had been reported stolen in Georgia. None of the 4 occupants of the car had a license for the gun. Back at the nightclub, Shyne was taken away in handcuffs because he also was in possession of a firearm with 3 spent cases. Scar and his crew were not arrested because they fled the scene. While Diddy and his crew were in the holding cell, allegedly he attempted to bribe his driver, Wardell Fenderson. I'm Puff Daddy, you know? Fenderson quoted Combs as saying in hushed tones, "I can't take this gun rap. I'll give you $50,000. According to Fenderson, Shyne chimed in. "Listen, dog, you don't have a record. You'll get probation. We can't let P take the gun. You'll be a part of the family." Combs then offered him a diamond pinky ring, a gift from J. Chimed in. "Listen, dog, you don't have a record. You'll get probation. We can't let P take the gun. You'll be a part of the family." Combs then offered him a diamond pinky ring, a gift from JLo, as collateral for the promised $50,000. The driver initially did tell police that the gun was his, but he later recanted that statement. There was also a tapped phone call where they suspect Puff had been trying to bribe the driver once again.
You said what?
I ain't taking no charge from nobody. Shit, I'll be telling y'all.
Hey.
Every video will be something like this, honey. I ain't.
The only thing I always say, like, you know what I'm saying? In situations like this, yeah, I do recommend, like, nah. Because the driver, he's just a driver. He ain't signed up for it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I signed up to be your driver, not to be. But when it's like, never mind. But me, I'm not going down for no gun. You shot, and like, especially.
Excuse me. 2 people were shot.
Because only thing a lawyer gonna be able to get a drop down to if they do charge with is assault with a deadly weapon. They're not gonna. They're not gonna. Also, this New York. New York has strict gun laws.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's way stricter gun laws in New York than we have here in where we at.
Yeah.
You know, in Tennessee, you don't have to have a license or nothing. You can openly carry and shoot that. You know what I'm saying? They ain't gonna say nothing.
There was also a tapped phone call where they suspect Puff had been trying to bribe the driver once again.
And I just want to make you feel like comfortable, you know what I'm saying? Make your family feel comfortable.
Everyone involved in the situation bailed out of jail, and as you can imagine, the media was in a frenzy. Puffy quickly lawyered up, hiring a dream team of 2 top defense attorneys, Johnny Cochran and Benjamin Braffman.
That Johnny Cochran was a bad motherfucker.
No, but you can't just go around pew-pewing people.
No, I ain't saying like that. No, don't. Let's move on from that. But that Johnny Cochran was a bad mother. No, I didn't mean it like that. See?
Yeah. It just caught me off guard when you said it. But okay. But yeah, no, he was though.
And I know a lot of people nowadays who wish they could get a Johnny Cochran on their cases. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't got no Johnny Cochran like we used to have.
They held a press conference, which was basically just an official way for Puffy to put out an official statement to proclaim his innocence.
On Sunday evening, I went to Club New York, and under no circumstances whatsoever did I have anything to do with a shooting.
From there, his lawyer proceeded to take questions and attempt to clarify what had happened that night.
Whatever happened at the club had nothing to do with him, and when he went outside and he was whisked into a car, in the back of the car, with Miss Lopez, the gun was found in the front where 2 other people were. If you or I went into a car and sat in the back seat and a gun was found in the front, our cases would be dismissed. The reason Mr. Combs' case was not dismissed...
Oh, shut the hell up. That's straight lawyer talk. Man, if I get in the back seat, I can easily slide something up on the front seat. It's that easy. Have you ever rode in a Lincoln Navigator?
Mm.
Bro, my auntie used to have one. Auntie, you know. Mm-hmm. She had a Lincoln Navigator. That same exact Lincoln Navigator she had back in the day. We was kids.
Yeah.
Yes, it's easy as hell to slide something, bloop. Especially a gun, bloop. It's even when I'm getting in the car, I can easily just...
It was found underneath the seat or like in the front seat? Where was it?
Did they say underneath where it was found? The seat, front...
No, I'm just saying in this case.
It just said the front seat in one of the front seats.
Oh, okay.
It don't even say the driver or the passenger side.
Yeah.
It just said it was found in the front seat. So it could be under the front seat, in the front seat.
Yeah.
All the way up under the dashboard or the front seat footrest area. Dude. We going on, like, even if I'm getting in the car, as I'm getting in the car.
Especially with a whole bunch of chaos going on, you can easily, like, I don't know. People do be thinking like that.
I can be getting in. You know, like, stop that bullshit.
Our cases would be dismissed. The reason Mr. Combs' case was not dismissed is a simple one. Because every time someone lies, you all take it as true.
His lawyer is trying to convince the press that the gun being in the front seat is this obvious matter of fact that proves Diddy's innocence, when in reality, Diddy's company owned the car, and they drove for 11 New York City blocks, speeding away from the cops, which is more than enough time for somebody to take the gun from the back seat and move it to the front seat. But we're going to deep dive into all the details of the case in a minute. Right before the trial, the media was more focused on Jennifer Lopez, since Diddy being involved in a shooting wasn't really all that surprising. Headlines emerged such as her high-risk romance and her night in hell. Whether or not she had been involved in or knew exactly what happened was a juicy story, and everyone wanted answers, which is why many people believe that she wore a specifically revealing dress at the 2000's Grammy Awards to take attention off the incident. This award show was less than 2 months after the shooting, and headlines switched from talking about that to talking about this skimpy garment. In fact, her Grammys dress is the reason why Google Images exists today. Google's executive chairman, Eric Schmidt, said Google users wanted more than just text. This first became apparent after the 2000's Grammy Awards, where Jennifer Lopez wore a green dress that, well, caught the world's attention. At the time, it was the most popular search query we had ever seen, but we had no surefire way of getting users exactly what they wanted. JLo wearing that dress. Google image search was born. As we got closer to the trial, David Letterman interviewed Jennifer Lopez on Late Night and asked her about the recent trouble she had got in with Diddy. He was referring to the nightclub shooting, and JLo made it very clear that she did not want to talk.
Trouble now. There's some trouble now. I don't think I need to tell people, but there's trouble now. And we don't need to go into it, do we? No. And you can't really say anything about it, can you? No. So I really shouldn't have even brought it up. I don't know why I brought it up. But there is some trouble now. Has the trouble affected the relationship?
No.
The trial for the nightclub shooting case began with jury selection on January 17th, 2001, followed by opening arguments on January 29th, 2001. Interestingly enough, we found this New York Post article that claims that JLo testified in front of 23 grand jurors in Manhattan Supreme Court, saying, "Look, I danced with him. I had my arms around him. No gun." But I found countless other sources that report that she never testified, but she would be willing to if she had to. I have told Sean that if he and his lawyers change their minds and require me to testify, I will be there immediately to tell the truth. Another interesting point in this case is that Shyne got separate attorneys than Puffy. Puff had his superstar legal team, but Shyne, who was just 20 years old with no substantial money, was actually appointed different lawyers. And those two lawyers had previously worked for Diddy. And this is weird because Puff and Shyne are essentially defending themselves for the exact same crime, and Shyne is signed to Diddy's label, so why would they have separate legal teams?
Well, there's a reason behind it, and it's kind of hard to explain. But when it's two individuals on a case, especially if we're not necessarily getting tried together, but we're getting tried like together.
For the same crime.
For the same crime, technically, it's in best practice not to have the same lawyer. Typically, they always say that. Mm-hmm. They say, "Hey, I can represent this client, but I can't represent this client." Mm-hmm. Because, say for instance, if some kind of way they try to tie it, you know what I mean? That's the reason why most of the time, if you see multiple people on one offense, each person has a different lawyer. It's not for pay wise. It's because of client representation. Yeah. Because then, say for instance, if we both get found guilty, then I can say, "Hey, it's because of we had the same lawyer. I had improper counsel." Mm-hmm. So it's basically to prevent that. That's the real reason why. I don't know if you know that or. Yeah. Anyone know that, but you technically don't want to have the same lawyer as your co-defendant, or I don't know, were they even on trial together?
Well, at the same time.
Yeah, don't know that much, but technically Diddy did. If it is two lawyers that represented Diddy previously before, Diddy paid for the lawyers, so that's he might. I'm like, I ain't gonna hold you. If I am in Diddy's shoes in that situation, I'm gonna hire the best of the best lawyers for me. To make sure I free myself. But I am going to provide lawyers for you, but they ain't going to be as, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go out here and get the best of the best. I'm going to try to use the second best of the best, but I'm going to get the best of the best. I think anybody would, though, right?
Yeah, in most cases. Yeah. Yeah.
Diddy's defense was simple. He denied everything. He didn't have a gun. He didn't get into an altercation. He didn't get slapped with a stack of money. He didn't shoot a gun. And he did not try to hide a gun after the fact. Detectives who interviewed 350 people that witnessed the events in the nightclub almost unanimously agree that Diddy and Shyne did fire a weapon.
The other witnesses that did describe what happened, say that Sean Combs was the one who fired, and shot these people along with Shyne.
Additionally, there were metal detectors that everyone in the club were required to go through, which would mean that the intended targets of the bullets, Scar and his crew, would not have had guns on them.
The only people who didn't go through the metal detectors is Puffy and JLo. Right. And I think everyone else went through.
Okay. They were the only ones that had guns.
Also, if you think about it, if Scar and his crew had guns on them, this situation would have probably been a lot worse because they likely would have started shooting back. But instead, they fled the scene.
So if that's the case, so JLo and Diddy didn't go through the metal detectors, but Shyne would have went through the metal detectors, right?
So where was the second gun? So
and there's two shooters. So they said Shyne and Diddy shot.
Had a gun, right?
They both were shooting.
Right.
So there's two guns, there's two gunmen on their side.
What?
It's finished.
Shyne is with Diddy. Shyne is the other dude, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm saying, they said supposedly, allegedly, JLo was holding the guns in her purse.
So she brought
a
both.
gun in her purse. So if it was 2 shooters, did she have 2 guns in her purse? And when stuff broke out, that's what I'm asking. Like, because I thought it was just 1 gun, 1 shooter all this time.
That's what I thought. And also, Shyne recently, don't he got a documentary coming out?
I'm not sure, but I have heard him speak.
He did speak and say he never shot a gun. So
where's the 2 shooters? Also, if it's 2 shooters, I know 2 people shooting and you can still be held responsible because of a situation 2 people got shot. But for sure, who gun was the one that actually like with the woman and the guy? Because again, I always thought it was just one victim and not 2. Like it's
been a lot of information.
I really didn't know that. I didn't know that the guy. Shooters. I didn't know it was 2 shooters, and I didn't know the guy had got shot in his shoulder. I thought it was just the woman.
Yeah, that's what we always thought.
But we
recently just seen some stuff recently.
Yeah, and no one ever. Well, I'm not going to say no one because obviously it's out there.
From
I just
what
never dug deep into it to like really. I just like hear stuff and then like see a little article or see someone talk about it. And then, I
we've never really deep dive into this situation.
Yeah.
We typically, if we do come across stuff, we'll deep dive into it for a little bit. But with this one, we did a little diving into it. We were like, okay, we keep seeing the same stuff we always see. And we won't never go like full-fledged deep into it,
Yeah.
Because most of the time, every time we looked into it, it was always repetitive stuff we see. And nothing has ever led us down this part.
Yeah.
A lot worse because they likely would have started shooting back, but instead they fled the scene. And speaking of Scar, conveniently, he was nowhere to be found in the trial, and that's because he was allegedly threatened to disappear.
And he said, he goes, look, they were after me, they were trying to, get me to disappear anyway, and they were going to pay me. At one point, he was offered $100,000 to just disappear. This is according to him. They had a meeting set to go get this money. He was going to bring some people with him for his safety, and so he felt fairly comfortable. But he got a call from someone in Puffy's inner circle who he knew from his neighborhood, wherever he knew him, I forget exactly, but who told him, don't go to pick up that money. You will never see it, and that'll be it for you. They're gonna kill you.
Despite all of the evidence that seemingly was stacked up against Puffy, one witness was somehow able to exonerate him entirely. The witness, Charisse Myers, was a bouncer at the club. She claimed that when shots rang out, she fell on top of Puffy during the shooting and that she did not feel a gun on him. This single testimony somehow negated all of the witnesses, all of the testimonies and detective reports and the metal detectors and everything that made Puffy look guilty.
And I'll say this, and that's one of the main reasons why Puffy is locked up now and they won't let him out, is because they do feel as though I think that's one of their biggest things right now is Puffy can be able to, whatever bail amount y'all put up, Puffy can be able to bail out, right? Shyne, P. Diddy, whatever you want to, Diddy, Brother Love, whatever you want to call him. He'll be able to bail out. If he bails out, no matter what conditions y'all give him, there's other people he's 100% connected to that will be able to communicate on his behalf, and people will take his word for it. You know what I'm saying? So there's a high chance of possibility if he does get out on bail, he'll be able to offer whatever amount to anyone.
Especially when you have like a history of doing
bribery type things. You're 9 times out of 10 will bribe somebody not to talk. You will get people on your side and the case goes away. The best way for them on their end is to keep him behind closed doors. We can monitor. We 100% can monitor every call he has. We'll know what he's doing 24/7, and to make sure our case stays strong. That's the only way.
Yeah.
And detective reports and the metal detectors and everything that made Puffy look guilty. How? We don't know. Additionally, Charisse testified that Shyne was the one who shot the gun, and for some reason, Shyne's lawyers admitted that he shot the gun, but in self-defense. So Puffy's defense strategy was deny everything, and Shyne's defense strategy was, oh yeah, I did shoot the gun, but I was defending myself. It was at this point that Shyne...
What self-defense was there, though?
If there's no self-defense, there's nobody shooting back at you. And in the state of New York, it's illegal to even carry a weapon. So even in that defense, I'm not finna own up to, you know what that was? A payoff for you to take the hit for it. Even if you did shoot, we just want you to be able to take the fall. We need you to take the fall for the crime.
For everything, so that nothing hits me.
Yeah.
Nothing hits Diddy.
Yeah. So in that case, in that factor of it, you're dumb.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, even if my lawyer also, you can blame it on the age too. You 20. You just gonna do whatever the people in the suit and the tie tell you to do.
Yeah.
But also, did they even give you the notion of you not being necessarily illegal? I wonder on what type of citizenship level did he have?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
To be able to
even be here for as long as he was, because his parents and stuff is still here. His family was still here, but he got deported, you know?
Yeah.
So
defense strategy was, oh yeah, I did shoot the gun, but I was defending myself. It was at this point that Shyne realized his attorneys, which were appointed to him by Puffy, were not acting in his best interest.
But at the point where, he calling the witnesses, to do me dirty, then you understand that, well, man, if these guys is working for him, because I went to the judge like 3 times complaining about inefficiency with my lawyers, because they was just dumbing out. Like, witnesses be on the stand, they would ask them 2 questions that didn't make sense and then sit down. It's obvious that they was selling me, you understand, in order to appease him. There was a dual loyalty there.
All fingers were pointed at Puff, but because of Sharice.
And that's the reason why no matter what, in any kind of legal aspect of it, they always say, hey, never take lawyers from your record label. You need to go out yourself and get your own legal representation. Because, even in factors of, when it comes down to record labels, sport attorneys, or whatever, it's so many people who have been screwed over by lawyers that have been given to you by, whether it be the labels, your manager, whatever. You actually need to go out here and get your own lawyer.
But something, in this case, I don't know if he had, the money, right? To be able to afford a good lawyer himself, right?
Because even though he was signed, he hadn't did anything to get any kind of income.
So 9 times out of 10, if I went out here and be like, hey, I'm just gonna get my own representation, he wouldn't have paid for it.
Nah.
Did he want to pay for it? No, I'm gonna get your representation. I'm gonna get who I want you to have, and then I'm gonna tell you this is the best of the best. When probably in hindsight, on the back end, you paying these people off to make sure that you don't get him off. It's.
Because even if he went to his family said, hey, we'll try to find you. But
yeah.
If you went to your family, hey, can y'all find me a lawyer? They were a lot of people, especially coming from conditions poverty conditions that he comes from.
Yeah.
They would be like, why he can't just get a lawyer for you? From their understanding, they probably like, hey, he's the one that got you in this mess. He should be taking care of you. I don't want him to you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't understand and don't know. Especially coming from our communities, especially coming from poverty and not having it all for an understanding on that scale.
Yeah.
A lot of people fall into a situation like that where they have poor legal representation. But is it a possibility that you were guilty? You just didn't want to be the only one that went down?
Possibly. Wasn't there? I don't know.
Yeah. Because what it do seem like, yeah, you hollering out, I ain't do nothing. But it's a possibility you shot and Puffy shot from what we're hearing.
Because at the end of the day, we know someone shot. There was you know what I'm saying?
There were 2 shooters from Patch's video. There's 2 shooters.
Yeah.
2 shooters shot. 2 people got hurt. 2 people unless it was Puffy's bodyguard shooting with Puffy. Or you and the bodyguard was shooting with Puffy. Or JLo might shot that bitch. We don't know. Could have been JLo and Diddy. One of y'all 4 shot the gun.
Somebody.
The driver said, hey, I ain't taking a rap. 50,000 ain't enough.
Yeah.
Because 50,000 really ain't enough. If you ain't talking 50 mil, don't talk to me. You know what I'm saying? In that situation. Because honestly, I could have had life in jail.
True.
We don't know how I would have got out.
It's obvious that they were selling me, you understand, in order to appease him. You know, there was a dual loyalty there.
All fingers were pointed at Puff. But because of Sharice Meyer's testimony and Shyne's lawyers essentially backing up her story, the jury felt this case was solved, that Shyne was guilty and Puffy was innocent. Sean Combs was acquitted of all charges, and Shyne was found guilty of 5 other charges, including assault in the first degree, reckless endangerment, and criminal possession of a weapon. Justice Charles Solomon sentenced Barrow to 10 years for first-degree assault. I also find it interesting that Shyne's lawyers, who literally just lost their case and know their client is going to jail, walk up to the press stand smiling, looking like they won.
What about Shyne? He's of course disappointed with.
There's just something odd about how he says, "What about Shyne?" while smiling. It's like, what do you mean, what about Shyne? You just lost the case. He's going to jail. Why are you smiling? And then he looks at his partner, and his partner is a lot more serious, and he immediately tucks that smile away and acts very serious. It's almost like he was smiling because the job actually was done the right way. But hey, what do I know? There are theories that Puffy paid the jurors, or maybe he bribed the judge, or he paid Sharice Myers to strengthen his case, but none of them really have much substantial evidence. However, it does kind of seem that Shyne was the fall guy. Shyne said that Diddy admitted this many years later.
You know, Puff apologized. He did apologize to me for that, you know, when we met in Paris. And, you know, he did say, you know, he could have handled it better, but he was under a lot of pressure, you know, from the lawyers, you know, to throw me under the bus. And that's exactly what, you know, Benjamin Brafman and Johnny Cochran and the entire Dream Team, that was their position.
But Diddy has always denied.
But that's not an admission of guilt. And like we all know, like that's one thing Johnny Cochran, how he got a lot of people off is, let me take the pressure off my client and redirect to possibly who it could have been. That's how Johnny Cochran got a lot of, even with the case of O.J. Simpson, how he got O.J. off. I have to remove the possibility that, because it's like, it's to create doubt, reasonable doubt. Damn, dude, what the?
Yeah, but just keep talking.
It's just annoying. It'd be random times. It'd just be annoying. It wouldn't be going nowhere to the gas station.
Just keep.
But it'd be like, he was like, basically, reasonable doubt. I have to create the simplest reasonable doubt. Like even with O.J. Simpson, if the glove don't fit, you must have quit. Hey, it could have been Ron. Who it was the not Ron, like the other cop, the cop guy there. He brought up it was a possibility of him. He has to. That's what his point was. Like, hey, I have to possibly position it that it could be somebody else and not necessarily my client that creates reasonable doubt. That's how every lawyer wins. Mm-hmm. The case in this situation was, Puffy wasn't the only one seen. Mm-hmm. Puffy wasn't the only one in the club.
Yeah.
Puffy wasn't the only one that got in his car. I had to create all these counts to show that, yeah, my client was there, but there's also a possibility of 3 other individuals being. I don't know what your lawyer team gonna do, but me and my team, we creating that it's doubt that it's on you. I'm not representing you.
Right.
And Johnny Cochran did what he was supposed to do. Me on my behalf, we've seen it. You could have fired your legal team. You could have said, "Hey, I need. I want to fire my legal counsel. I want new legal representation." You can't do that.
Yeah.
If you felt as though that legal team was failing you, or are you, like I always say, or are you, well, like I'm saying now, or are you salty that Diddy didn't go down with you?
We'll never know.
The full truth? Nah, we'll never know.
Your Dream Team, that was their position.
But Diddy has always denied that.
I did not force anybody or tell anybody to say anything that would damage or hurt Shyne's case. I just wouldn't do that. That would not be my intent whatsoever.
Now, there is no doubt that Shyne did commit a horrible crime. Like, you can't just fire a gun into a club where there's tons of people around. But it really seems like he was not the only one who should have been found guilty. And throughout the years, there was only one person who never shared their side of the story, and that was Jennifer Lopez. JLo was right there the entire night. She arrived with Puffy, she was in the club with him, she was right there when they had the scuffle, she was in the getaway vehicle where a gun was discarded, and she was even in the holding cell where there was allegedly a bribe that happened. She also continued to date Puffy before and during the trial. If anyone knows exactly how this all went down, it's her. But after this trial concluded, their relationship did not last much longer. In an interview with Rolling Stone, JLo recalls, "He said to me many times, I want a divorce." Which, keep in mind, they were never married. I'll be away so much, or he can't get away. Whatever. But he'll say, so where do I send the papers? Lopez affirms that all is well, but they have no plans to marry. She goes on to detail their vastly different lifestyle preferences. Puff loves to go out, she says. He's been a going out to clubs person all his life, doing his thing. I've always been a homebody, so we switch off what we do when we're together. I don't really like to talk about us because I don't feel like it's anybody's business. It's a separate thing. He's an artist, I'm an artist, we have two separate careers. There are some things you have to keep sacred and private, she says quietly, breaking eye contact as she does whenever Puffy is brought up in a non-professional capacity. That's such an interesting detail. Like, why did the writer write that specifically?
True.
Because she always breaks eye contact. They knew something. In this business, your soul...
They want you to know what body language you was giving.
Yeah. Breaking eye contact is a representation of body language.
Is so public and open and out there for everybody. There is no privacy. There really isn't. At the end of the day, you really have to fight to keep certain things sacred so that they survive. And sometimes they don't. And that's life. But you try. Most people look at JLo's response as completely normal. Even celebrities deserve privacy, and it's not weird to think they don't want to spill out every single detail about their personal lives. However, due to the suspicious acquittal of Diddy in the shooting, and the nature of his recent RICO charges, some look at her demand for privacy as a strategic way to separate herself from his sins. Was she actually a homebody? I mean, we do have plenty of photos of her at the Diddy parties, especially some where she appears to be cozied up in the bed with other stars, perhaps a prelude to the freak-offs.
That I, at that time, was cared very deeply for Shyne, and you know, we just didn't have the same kind of ideals about life and family and stuff like that, and just wasn't a good relationship for me. It didn't have so much to do with...
Or was it just too dangerous for her? You get what I mean? Like, now, and your image and the people that surround you, like, hey, we gotta get you from around this man. Because I do believe their relationship was really like some PR type stuff. It really wasn't necessarily like true intent on.
And even though they
possibly on her side, his side could be as well.
Possibly, who knows?
You never know, but I know for a fact, like from her end, I think the relationship with him really helped her a lot. As far as career-wise in the music industry, she was already kind of known in the dancing and the acting career-wise, but music-wise, she really needed that more imagery and that scale of, you know what I'm saying, publicity. And because it still happens to this day. Artists still date mainly for publicity. They'll date 1-2 years just to keep constantly be in the blogs and in the newspapers and being reported on. And then all of a sudden it's a tragic breakup, and they really don't talk about each other after the breakup. You like, that's not an organic relationship. Y'all have seen relationships happen. Y'all know these folks, they break up, they still talk shit about each other 5-10 years later. I couldn't stand being with that dumb ass. You know what I'm saying? So her to break up with him and immediately get in another relationship and get married and engaged and stuff, all that, just automatically shows you it was never real. What you think?
I mean, I don't get paid to think on that situation. Like, I don't know people's true intent.
You do get paid.
I said on that situation. As far I'm not there. I don't know. Like, I can assume, I can speculate, but I don't know. Like, I don't know if she truly cared. I don't know if he truly cared. Could have just been a mutual thing that hey, we just doing this to help your career, or whatever the case may be, to help her career, or whatever the case may be. And also, even the breaking up after the fact, like, yeah, we got to give it a little time, but she probably was ready to skedaddle soon it happened, because now I need to separate myself from whatever this situation is, especially since you know exactly what happened. You don't want nothing you don't want nothing to fall on you. You don't want no one to ask you questions. You also,
You know how bad it would have looked.
No telling if he... I'm gonna break my concentration. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, you know how bad it would have looked for her to break up with him during the whole court proceedings and right after the shooting. You see how you froze up? Yeah.
No, because I was like, what's that? I was just trying to like hear it to see what it was. But also, there's no telling what he told her to do, not to do, what to say, whatever, how to act, whatever the case may be. Don't know. So yeah, I guess in her case, to protect my image, especially if it wasn't real, I'm gonna give it a little time, and then baby, I gotta go. I'm about to get in a whole nother relationship, honey, that she has no problem doing, honey, because she'll get in and out of a relationship, child, honey.
But you ain't got you don't get paid to be in no.
Well, that be it.
Nope.
See, that be in the media. I just be seeing stuff. But I'm saying I can't speak on what you was asking me, because I don't know if she truly liked him or if he truly liked her. I don't know. And that was just a joke when I said I don't get paid to whatever. Because technically, that's what we...
With him, as it had to do with me at the time. I had to learn to care about myself a little bit more and put up certain boundaries of what I would accept and wouldn't accept, because really he was just being himself. He wasn't doing anything wrong, and he felt like he loved me very much, and I know he did, and I felt like the same way. So if I was unhappy in some way, then I was the one who had to do something. Not him. He was doing everything he wanted to do.
Just a few months after the trial, the couple quietly went their separate ways. The relationship only lasted 18 months. But Diddy says almost nothing but positive things about Jennifer. In a 2001 interview, he said that he was still in love with his ex, Kim Porter.
I got caught up in the hype a little bit. You know, Jennifer, she definitely a bad chick, but I was still in love with Kim. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't marry Jennifer if I was still in love with Kim.
A couple years later, JLo revealed that their breakup was actually because Puffy had cheated on her. It was the first time I was with someone who wasn't faithful, JLo tells Vibe magazine. I was in this relationship with Puff where I was totally crying, crazy, and going nuts. It really took my whole life in a tailspin. I never caught him, but I just knew. He'd say he was going to a club for a couple of hours and then never come back that night. Puffy's longtime bodyguard, Gene Deal, also recalls a time where he cheated on JLo immediately after she threw him a massive party for his birthday.
Then we came back, what's his name? Slam had set it up because Jennifer went upstairs. And Puff said, yo, Gene, watch the door. Don't let nobody come through the door. And I wanted to say it was Korean, but I'm not sure it was her. And while Jennifer was upstairs, he was down there getting a fellatio from her.
Did she ever find out?
Big grown ass man.
She know now.
Now, this is not as popular of a theory because it's not that sexy, but there is a chance that Diddy was an entirely different person towards JLo. If you watch my Diddy Files video, then you know that when it comes to his personal relationships, he's quite literally a monster. I mean, there's video of him beating his girlfriend. But if we speculate that his relationship with JLo was just a business transaction, then maybe he treated her better than his other partners.
When you was around Diddy, did you ever see him put his hands on Jennifer Lopez?
Well, he didn't do any violence to Mrs. JLo. That's why I didn't see any violence. It's a different breed, bruh. He wasn't gonna risk himself like that. And plus, a lot of people didn't like him. JLo mother didn't like him. Benny Medina didn't like him. If he would have ever touched Miss Lopez in any kind of aggressive way, she would have said something, man, listen to me. The whole Bronx would have been on Puff. It's a different class. He knew that she was an actress, she was a singer. He did put her on a pedestal, but he still was seeing Kim. So I don't think that she had those experiences. People only do what you let them do. If he would have did that to her, he would only have one time. You see, when he ran out the club and left her after that shooting at Shyne, she ain't want to be with him no more.
It seems like JLo has a great deal of deniability as far as her involvement and or knowledge of Diddy's crime.
Wait, he said when he ran out the club and left her. But I thought they ran out the club together and got in the car. Ain't that what was said earlier? I'm just a little confused. But anyway, I know he be up there talking and saying stuff, but I don't know.
Big 50-year-old grown ass man just telling everybody what's going on.
But anyway,
To me, that's a little weird in itself. Reason why is you're only doing it for monetary. Like I always say, it's very weird and strange that these people are willing to talk now.
Especially when y'all know.
When y'all knew
all this time stuff was going on.
Illegal stuff was going on.
Horrible things.
But as long as y'all was getting paid, y'all was willing to not say nothing. But now, since y'all ain't got no job, y'all ain't employed nowhere, y'all need some money, let me go tell some. And I'm like I always say, you done told so much, why you keep coming back and telling new stuff? Ain't that much shit you know.
Because me personally, I can't be...
you know too much shit? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Because me personally, I can't be in a situation knowing that, like, these type of,
events are happening
right, in front of me. Like, I'm literally guarding doors and making sure people don't come in and actually know what's going on and taking place in these, events or in these spaces and not saying anything. And then now you want to paint one person as a monster and not saying he not, whatever the case may be. But also, what does that say about you?
That's what I always say. I always say, you coming out here trying to, brand this one guy's image and deteriorate it. But in my eyes, it's making me look at you in the same light as well. Like, you trying to say he's such a horrible guy. I'm looking at you like, you a horrible guy too.
You right there with him.
You protected him. Literally. Standing and
for
watch.
$1.
Yeah. So you will do anything for $1. You like I always say, some of these people will probably like some of the stuff might be truth, but some of it might be exaggerated truth with a lot of lies as well. And I can't tell because you will do anything to keep $1 coming. Because you will watch and protect somebody from
hurting other people or whatever it is.
Said he done seen him, witnessed him doing stuff to minors. Nigga, you weird.
That's weird.
I still say you weird, bro. But
yeah, I know he be up there saying stuff. I'm like, I don't know. That's crazy.
JLo has a great deal of deniability as far as her involvement and or knowledge of Diddy's crimes. He could have been a totally different person towards her, or he was cheating on her, which we can assume would mean that he was constantly lying to her. Or maybe the relationship was strictly business and it was all fake, so they didn't even know each other that well. Or all of the above. Those who still look at JLo suspiciously believe that she knew about his sins and purposely turned a blind eye since he was helping her music career immensely. Or that she was actually involved in the cover-up of the nightclub shooting, or at the very least, she knows the real story, and the reason she is not speaking out against him today is because she is also guilty. I mean, this clip of her basically wishing death on Diddy is very telling.
You look in the ocean, you see two people floating. You can only pull up one because that's how much room you have on your raft. You look in the ocean, you see Ben Affleck, and you see Diddy.
I also find this clip of JLo's mom in 2015 very interesting.
I was telling you that I could always see you getting back with Puffy in a little way.
I remember you said
yes.
that. Yes.
Or in my mind.
Look at
or in my mind.
I don't think I've ever seen a more seriously concerned face. Her mom is not playing around. She demanded that JLo stop talking. The reason why all this matters is because it's very possible that today JLo is in contact with federal investigators about the 1999 club shooting. She could plead the fifth, she could say that she doesn't remember, or she could testify against him and actually help put him in jail. And since Diddy is currently being charged with RICO, the nightclub shooting can still be added to his charges as long as they can prove that this incident is a part of a pattern of repetitive criminal behavior.
In the aftermath of that, they have witnesses that say he bragged about intimidating witnesses, paying off jurors. certainly when you have that kind of stuff, if you go back and you find that juror that was paid off, or jurors, multiple, that may have been paid off, certainly that gives you the impetus to kind of come forward and refresh those charges on a federal case.
So now it's JLo's move. Is she going to stay silent, plead the fifth, and pretend like she doesn't remember anything? Or will she be a part of the inevitable takedown and imprisonment of Sean Diddy Combs? I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Cause that is true. If it is deemed that, cause she can still be charged with that if they find out she had some type of involvement. She never was charged. Mm-hmm. So if it does come up into RICO, she can possibly be. So because I don't know the statute of limitations on that.
Right. So do you implement yourself to put away someone like him, or do you get some type of immunity for helping?
But the truth still come out about you.
Yeah, and you don't want people to know that, but I mean, people don't always speculate it anyway. So that's a lot.
That's a toss up right there. Because if I don't, I can be held. But then if I do, it's a bad look on me, and how would the industry look at me? Cause then I think eventually the truth will come to light about everything, though. Yeah. Personally, me. But that's just my personal.
Yeah, most definitely. It'll eventually come to light.
But I always thought their relationship was fake. I didn't think anything
just for business.
I don't think it was ever anything ever like honest about the relationship. I think it was mainly just for career driven.
Because also my thing is, if you broke up with him, right, after all of the case and all of that or whatever, how long had he been cheating on you? I know he didn't just start right before or during the case cheating on you. So why, not saying why leave now, but I'm like, I would have been gone. But it's just kind of like in my head, I'm like, if I know somebody cheating on me, I'm not staying in a relationship.
And even the way the mom responded wasn't necessary. It was like, your ass could have went to jail behind this motherfucker.
Yeah, honey, she was serious. She was like, honey,
not that he cheated on my daughter. You would
no. It's because
it would be like, this motherfucker had my child almost. You know what I'm saying?
Because best believe I'm telling my mama what happened.
Now, mom knows.
Yeah.
The public, we don't know. My
mama most definitely. If I was in a situation like that, baby, yes. Yeah. So, no, let's dead that conversation real quick.
Yeah.
But, that's crazy.
Wendy was being messy. She already knew the answer before she spoke on it, man.
I like it.
But y'all spam us up in the comments. Y'all let us know y'all thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ Nikki. This is
Sierra Nicole. We are Kid and C.
We are.
Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Let me run away from